All right, so it should be going now because apparently it says everything's looking fine. Just click this to go live. And I thought that that was already done in my streaming software. So I guess not. You learn something. Hey, get a little bit better every day. Learn a little bit of something new every day. Can you see it on YouTube now? Chat should be on now. Or it should be streaming. Can you guys... Oops. Hold on a second. You guys can hear me okay? Ah, there he is. There it is. Okay, yeah, for some reason, I have to click again, even though I use a streaming streaming thing called Prism, which is basically a skin over the top of OBS, but they have all this other like cool stuff that's added onto it. And I thought when I pushed live, we were live, but apparently not. Isn't that something? Okay, so we're all good now. We're all golden. So what's up, y'all? We in the hizzy now. Today, this is a first of a monthly live stream we're going to be putting together. And our monthly live streams are going to happen at the last Saturday of the month around this time. It's going to be somewhere between 12 and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, -4 GMT for those of you who are in other parts of the world. And I'm trying to get it early enough. So I'm probably going to push it a little bit towards the 12 o'clock mark for the next one. And next month is something from Free League. I can tell you that right now. I just don't know which, but it's going to be something from Free League. All right. I'm very, very more concerned about my audio than I am my video. The video should look decent enough. What's up, LJ? Big Ram, what's up? Driving and Dragons. All right. Do your thing. What's up? Derek Man, what's up? All right. So let's get this party started, y'all. If you're on Amazon, cool. If you're on YouTube, cool. Doesn't matter. We're going to do this multi-stream here. And we're going to get into a showcase of the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. Let's just take a quick look at this. Oh, man. So somehow it is switched it up on me. Let me do a little transformation. Let me do this. Because I'm upside down. What in the world? That's crazy. I'm like upside down on this thing. Let's not do that. And we're going to transform. We're going to flip this like that. That's how that's supposed to be. Now let's see if we can get this one going. Flip this. I think we're supposed to flip this like that. Oh, there it is, y'all. All right. So this is it right here. Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. I'll tell you something. There's more actual products than I have. They just released one not too long ago. Just came out, I'm going to say in the last few weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks, something like that. And that's the Spider-Verse expansion. But that's the only thing I can do is mention it because this guy is just not important enough to send it to. No, I'm just playing. I wasn't the only one. Apparently, they're just having some issues with releasing, getting stuff to people. I mean, my game shop doesn't even have it. There's a couple of game shops in my city. They don't have it. And I called up there just to see if a brother could borrow something so y'all can at least look at it and I can look at it and see if that's it. But I know, Derek, you said you were going to, DB, you said you were waiting for yours. So I guess, you can let us know over on Element what's going on. All right, so this is it, y'all. Now, I've done a video on this before. For those of you who are not aware, there's one here on Amazon, on my Amazon page. There's one on my my YouTube channel. It's all over. And I decided to do a showcase because I got a lot of different products. And some of them I have not done. You haven't seen them. So let me first, this thing keeps moving for reasons unknown, but I'm gonna move this back a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. So we can just see a little something. I'm gonna move my dice over to the side here. We're gonna look on the inside. And we're just gonna talk about some basics here. And let's get pretty. Can we get pretty? Can a brother get pretty? All right, I'm gonna get pretty for a little bit. I just wanted you guys to see the full expansion as it's opened up. It's pretty, semi-glossy pages, put together nice. Like the design on the side. You found Spider-Verse on Thrift Books, or you found Marvel on Thrift Books? Because Spider-Verse just came out. But the other one, and by the way, there's another one that's coming. I'm going to talk about that later on. But yeah, this one, it looks nice, but we're going to get into the core mechanics right now. But I want to look pretty. So let's look pretty a little bit. All right. Core mechanics. How do you play this game? It works off of what's called a D616 system. So 616, for those of you who might not be familiar with the comics, because I'm a comic collector, so I have thousands, literally, of comics, and 616 is the universe. That's the main universe, like where everything started, kind of, sort of. But now they've got, like, you know, all these different offshoots and all the rest of that. Technically, they've all had, man, I can't speak. They always had offshoots, different dimensions, especially with, you know, Doctor Strange and stuff like that. But the Avengers did the same thing. Fantastic Four did the same thing, going through different dimensions, different verses, different all of that. So it's kind of been around. It's kind of just been kind of like a major thing since actually the movies came out, to be quite honest. But it works on a D616 system. Okay, so I'm moving this over a little bit so you guys can see what's up. So I probably, you want to know what I want to do? I want to get rid of this because I didn't know if I needed it, because I don't like the chat in my window. You guys let me know. Do you want me to leave the chat down here in the right hand, on the left hand side here? You want me to leave that up? I'll leave it up for you guys if you guys want to see each other talking, all the rest of that stuff. If it doesn't matter, then I'll just take it out. You know what I mean? Because this, for me, it's kind of a distraction. What if? Yeah, that's another one. I'm looking at you guys. Yeah, what if it's another kind of universe that they had? They've been around forever, right? It's just kind of been kind of a major thing because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all the rest of this stuff, and you got all this different stuff going on. But by the way, I'm going, you know, y'all ain't saying nothing. I'm gonna take this chat down because I don't like the way it looks right here. So let's say bye. Bye-bye. All right. Looks so better. So better. All right, let's go ahead. So it's a D616 system. So they have some special dice. And for those of you who are on Amazon, I'll show you what they look like there. But they have special dice, but you can use six-sided dice. It's basically a 3D6 system. The one in the middle is the marble die. So if you just got 3D6, then having one that's actually red is going to do you justice, because that's actually the example that they give in the book here. One red, that's the marble die. The two on the side that are white, those are just kind of like regular die. Now the marble die is different. This one right here on the red die, that's the Marvel symbol on the special dice if you get the specialty dice for Marvel. if you roll that, so to do an ability check or anything like that, if you roll that, then it is not a 1, it is a 6. It also means that you've rolled what's called a fantastic success, right? And so if you roll a fantastic success, like in combat, normally the thing that happens if you roll a fantastic success is that you do double damage. But some of your powers have special things that happen if you roll a fantastic success, so you got to go ahead and you got to take a look at that stuff. But how you do things is kind of simple. I got over here, and let me see if I got this. There we go. So right over here, I got Daredevil. And this is over on a thing that, now my contact over at Marvel Entertainment, his name's Amir. And he sent me this, I was supposed to have like this code. And apparently the code didn't work. So you can go over the Demiplane, and over on Demiplane, it has a whole bunch of games and you can make characters, and it's on mobile and stuff like that. So you can take this stuff with you wherever you go if you're doing live sessions. If you're doing virtual sessions, obviously you're just going to do it in whatever virtual tabletop that you have. But Marvel, they want their money. So they are only forcing you to play in one of 2 places, and that is all, folks. The one is the other VTT that I don't think is worth mentioning at all. That's pretty popular. And this Demiplane right here. Now, I haven't looked at it much. I'll probably do a separate video at some time over on my YouTube channel. Those of you who don't know and you're here on Amazon, you can, my YouTube channel, you can just look me up, RPG Elite, and trust me, it'll pull up. Now, over here, and apparently, it looks like I was messing around earlier, so he actually has 60 because of his rank. But anyway, you can go in here, and Demiplane, as you can see right there, if you hover over stuff, it says 660. You can roll that. I'm not going to roll that right now because I just want you guys to see how the different things that you can have on the character sheet here and the abilities like this. But let's say we're going to do Daredevil is getting ready to punch somebody in the mouth. All right. So we're going to take a look at his melee here. And his melee is going to be added to this 3d6 roll that we're about to do. And if he hits a certain target number, which in a combat would be the defense of whoever he's trying to hit, which is static and automatic, and that makes things a little bit simpler because you don't have to figure out a target number. It's just there and you just roll. So that's really cool. But what happens is that if I wanted to, and this is just an example, y'all, so I'm just rolling like this. All right, that's a horrible roll right there. If I wanted to hit, I can't even hit a Hydra agent with that right there. That's awful. And he gets to add his 2 melee to that. But I know a Hydra agent is 11, and so he missed. Daredevil missed, for crying out loud. But that is how you would roll. And if it would turn up at 1, then you would double the damage and all the rest of that stuff. Now, if it's a fantastic success and it's a non-combat thing, then you guys kind of come up with the narrative of what happened and make it sound cool. Because y'all know, as an RPG Elite, the dice are only here to inform you on what will happen in your medium and high level role playing. That's it. That's all we're using this for. Now, that is the basic gist of it. So you roll the 3 die, you add your ability to it at the end. If you hit the target number, great. If you get a Marvel symbol, you're going to double that. That pretty much is, you're going to double like the damage, or something real cool is going to happen. Now, you can get a fantastic failure. Like you get a Marvel die, but you didn't hit the target number. That's what's called a fantastic failure. So even though you miss, something cool still happened. That's kind of cool. So it's not a, oh man, it's utter failure. If you get a fantastic failure, then even though you didn't do what you wanted to do, something cool still happened. It might not be major, like if you were to succeed, but something cool still happened, maybe something a little bit advantageous. And again, you guys would just basically have to figure that out as you guys are moving along here. Now, you have these things called edges and trouble, okay? Now, an edge is basically an advantage, something that you have. Let's say you guys are trapped in a room and there's a crowbar in the place. Why is there a crowbar in there? Who knows? But you're trying to break out, you're trying to break the door down. The crowbar is going to be what's called an edge. It's going to give you a +1 or something to whatever you want to do. All right, that'll help. Now, edge stacks. So you can have multiple edges. 1, 2, I mean, if your GM will allow you, if I were the GM, I probably have a max of probably 2. But some GMs will let you go forever. But these edges are just these little advantages and things that you can add to your roll to make sure that you make this. Also, you have what's called troubles. Now, an edge allows you basically to re-roll a die. So let's say you have an edge of that crowbar that I just told you. And let's say the target number, because they have a list of target numbers here, we're just going to say it's a basic challenging thing. And for someone like Daredevil, that's going to be his challenging TN is a 12, because your challenging target number is based on your rank. And he's only a rank 2 hero. And it goes all the way up from rank 1 to rank 6. So rank 1 is like rookie. And the rank 6 is like cosmic. And then everything in between. Rank 4 is like your legendary, your Avengers type stuff. Rank 5 is you getting up there. And, like I said, rank 6 is Silver Surfer territory and all the rest of that. Believe it or not, the Hulk is rank 6. And with everything that's going on with him, I'm surprised they put him at rank 6. But he is. He's at rank 6. Which is kind of crazy. But anyway, so let's say you got edge. I'm just going to give you an example off the top of the mind. So let's say Daredevil, he's in a room trying to break out. He finds something that he can use kind of to give him leverage to break the door, and he's trying to put it in there. I'm going to give him an edge for that. All right, so let's say I roll this, and his target number is challenging, which is 12. So he needs to roll a 12 or higher. Okay, I did that. However, with an edge, I can re-roll my lowest die, which is this 2, and I just take the highest of the 2. I just roll another 2. I've been doing this all day in my examples and everything. I've been rolling the same number when I have edge. But so he breaks the door down with the edge there. And also, he would have any kind of might number, I think it's called. I think it's might that they have here for strength. So he would use that, add that to the roll. So he would easily break that door down since he got that. Same thing with troubles. Troubles is just the opposite. You're going to take the 1 die that was the lowest, and you're going to roll it. He rolled a 6. You're going to keep the 2. You're going to keep the lowest of the 2. So a trouble is something that's going to hinder you. If Daredevil was trying to chase somebody up a fire escape in the rain, okay, it's going to be a little slippery. It's going to give him a little bit of trouble. So then he's going to have some trouble, and he's going to roll his lowest die or his highest die. Sorry, with troubles, it's your highest die, and then you're going to keep the lowest of the 2. That's pretty much it. That's your core mechanic right there to kind of do anything, actions, combat, all the rest of that stuff. That's pretty much it. So it's a simple mechanic. And it can, if you know what you're doing and once you get used to it, stuff goes pretty Spider-Man. And if you're making characters, because you can create your own characters, the character creation process, I've done it a couple of times now. What do I say about this? It's easy enough. However, it doesn't give you, it's not as flexible as you probably would like it to be to actually make the character that you want. There's prereqs that you need as far as powers and things, and the lower you start, the harder it's going to be to create the character that you might have in your head. That might come later on. Now, when it comes to rank, you can start off at like rank 1 and then set a rank cap. Let's say you're going to start off at rank 1, which means that you're basically going to play your origin story. Okay, that's what that means, because that means you're starting off as an absolute rookie. But then you'll level up and you'll go up to 4, and 4 will be your cap. You'll have all the powers that you'll ever have, and that's it. And that is a unique thing about superhero tabletop RPGs. There is no normally leveling. That's not a thing that happens in superhero tabletop RPGs. You have your powers, and you basically just get better at using your powers. That's it. Now, you might get, for your lower, low powers, they might get a little better if you've got a rationale or something for them. But normally, leveling is not a thing in a superhero tabletop RPG. You get better at them. You do all these different types of things with them. In the classic Marvel, they were called power stunts. And you just keep doing another one and another one and another one and another one. It's like Daredevil didn't start off taking his billy club and bouncing them off of everything all over the place. Yeah, that he had to build up to that until he got to where he is today, where he could just do this, with his eyes closed. I did that on purpose, with his eyes closed. Okay, anyway, his eyes is always closed. All right, so that's the basic mechanic. It's a simple game. I watched one video to get prepared for this, and I think it was Glass Cannon, and they had done this. They actually did a couple things wrong, but that's okay. There were a couple things they didn't do half bad. It wasn't boring to watch, so that was great. So that's all you really need to know in terms of the mechanic. That's it. You do need to know how to do a little bit of math in your head, right? It's not hard math. It's not super crunchy. I would say that this is more like a medium crunch, medium crunch. It is not Champions. Good grief. Let's thank God it's not Champions. Oh my gosh. That's ghastly. But you're going to have to know how to do a little bit of math, do it fast. It's simple math. I would like it to be a little bit less crunchy on the low crunch side, but it's kind of like a medium crunch. A medium crunch. All right. Oh, they're doing power stunts in the Spider-Verse. There you go. See, you want to know why? Because the classic version was the best one. I mean, they even added things like, here we go now, y'all, for those who know, there's karma in this one. Oh, yeah. Now, it's kind of the same, but kind of different, right? You do earn it, you do spend it, so it's the same thing. So for those who are hearkening back to the day with the classic, and I should show you guys that. They do have it in this. When you make your character, if you're starting off as heroic and you have to have that certain trait or tag, I think it is. There's tags and traits. They're a little bit different. Traits will give you like certain abilities. Tags are just for flavor, to describe your hero and stuff. And you can make up your own tags and stuff like that. But you have to have the heroic tag in order to start with 1 karma. So it's there, and that's a shout out and a call back to the classic game, baby. I'm telling you, don't fix what's not broken. And a lot of these companies do that. Okay, so let's keep moving on here. Let's do some combat, shall we? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to set something up here. And I got this new camera, so we're going to see how well this works. And I'm using if those of you saw one of my recent videos here, I'm using a CCYY map here at the top. But I'm going to try to see, let's see if this works here. It works a little bit. A little bit. It looks a little weird, doesn't it? It looks a little weird. Can I zoom in a little bit more? There we go. Okay. So, and I'm going to turn it around because this is Daredevil. So, let's do a quick round of combat, shall we? All right. So, here's the scenario. You got 2 Hydra agents and you got Daredevil. All right. Now, I know all of his stuff in my head, and I know all the Hydra men stuff in his head. But I'm just going to give you a very basic run through on how combat works here. All right. So, first thing you're going to do, you're going to roll initiative. Now, when you roll initiative, this is the initiative for the whole combat. So you don't roll initiative every round, thank God. Because it just bogs stuff down for no good reason. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll for initiative. Now, what you do to roll for initiative is I'm going to go over to this character sheet again so you guys can see this. So over here, you're going to see right here this, and I think it's better if I do this little thing. This is kind of some of the cool stuff that you can do with this streaming thing that I have. But right here, I'm not real good at doing that, but right there is the initiative modifier right there. So you're going to roll 3d6 and then you're going to add your initiative modifier. And you're going to put them in order from highest to lowest. Makes it simple, right? So if we go back to the sheet here, and let's say I'm going to first roll. Who should I first roll for? Should I roll for Hydra or should I roll for Daredevil? Should I roll for the hero first or the villain or villains? Because he's going against 2 of them at this point. So I'm going to wait for you guys over here. TSR did a good job to begin with. Yeah, TSR killed it. So sorry. TSR killed it. Let's just keep it 100. All right. I'm going to start with, I'll start with the villains. Let's start with the villains. So the villains have a +1 E. Okay, so when you see an E next to an initiative, that means they have an edge. So they're going to get to roll their lowest and then re-roll that. So right here, ooh, man, it's got a 10. I got 13, but I can re-roll this. Keep the highest of this. I told you I keep doing the same thing, dude. I don't know what it is today. I just keep doing the same thing. So they get a 14, because remember, they got a +1. So they get a 14. So now we have Daredevil. Daredevil has a +1. He has no edge, though, which is really odd, because he has like heightened senses. So it seems like he would have edge. There's a couple of things that I think is kind of odd about the game. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd play this game. I would. And I probably am. We probably will get a live or, get a whole gameplay thing going later on down the line. I haven't played this game because it's pretty easy once you've been playing tabletop RPGs for a while, and y'all know what I'm talking about, to pick up on a tabletop RPG once you get the core mechanic. Yeah, it's pretty simple. But I'm going to roll Daredevil's initiative here. Okay, well, Daredevil lost. So, yeah, that is an 11. So 11 and 13. So those 2 guys are going to go. So I'm going to roll one, and we're just going to do a fisticuffs thing here, right? So we're just going to, they're going to, oddly and stupidly, try to go hand to hand with Daredevil. All right. So let's go ahead here and see what they get. So Daredevil has a defense. So let's go back over to the sheet here. So you can see over here next to his melee, he has a defense. This is the target number that people are going to need to hit for your, in melee, it's this target number, whatever your melee is. If it's agility, it's going to be your agility defense. And this goes all the way down the line here. all the way down the line. So they're going to need a 12. That's their target number to hit Daredevil. So we're going to roll one time, and that's not going to work. And they also get to add their melee ability to this, which is just 1 for a Hydra agent. So this is an 11. So that doesn't work. It was close, but a swing and a miss. Now, the second guy, because we're going to do all 3 of them, since it's just 3 of them, second guy, swing and a miss. Swing and a miss again. Okay. Now we're going to do for Daredevil. I'm just only going to do run round here just to let you know how fast this can actually go. But let's go back to character sheet here. And so what I'm going to do this right here. It's called attack stance, right? Has a special thing that goes on. So let's go ahead and you guys can check this out real quick. I have to turn this off and then turn this back on. But if we click on this, and I have to click on it right there, I think. There it is. So it's going to tell you what the attack stance does. And I have to go in real quick because this is real close because this is kind of small. Okay, so the character doubles, and I already knew this, but you double your melee ability, which you add to the end for damage if you hit, because your roll is a to hit. All right, so I'm going to close that out, and then we're going to go back and we're going to see if Daredevil is going to hit. So his attack stance is going to give him a double to his damage, and there's a multiplier for this. Watch how this works. Now, I hope I don't roll as bad as I did for the other guys, because if so, then we're just going to automatically make him hit. Oh, he's using his billy club. Let's go back to that. He's going to use his billy club. That's an iconic weapon. And down here, you'll see he has an iconic weapon, and that gives him a +1 to his damage multiplier. This was called damage multiplier. You'll see this in a second. So there's a reason why we're going to use that billy club. So let's go back and let's make a roll. Wow. Swing and a miss. So what I'm going to do is we're going to say that this one was a 6. Just to keep, because he needs an 11, right? So let's say he rolled a 12. Hey, he made it. All right, so what's going to happen is that he has a multiplier on the sheet here. And that multiplier is over here on his sheet. It's a ×3. Okay? So his multiplier is ×3. This over here is already doubled. Normally that would equal his melee ability, which is 2. But I've already activated the attack stance, so it's already doubled here. So you're going to add 4 after you add up all of the damage here. You're going to add 4 more to it. However, let's go ahead and look and see how much damage he does. In order to find out the damage, we're going to go over here. We're going to have to take a look at the Marvel die. The Marvel die is 2. That's what you're going to use the multiplier on. So the multiplier is 3. Wait, actually, the multiplier is 4 because of his billy club. It's going to add 1 to the multiplier. So it's 4 × 2, which is 8. And then on the other end of that, remember, we're going to add those 4 extra. And so he does 12 points of damage to that Hydra agent. They only have 30 points, so this is going to be a quick battle probably because he can do a couple other things. But that's pretty much how a battle is going to go. You're going to do your damage if you hit, and that's only if you hit, with your Marvel die. What if you get a fantastic success? Again, then what I just did, which was 12 points of damage, actually the 8 points is what's doubled. That's doubled. So I would have did 16 points of damage plus the 4, and that would have been 20 points of damage total. That's how that works. It's real simple, y'all. It really is. So like I said, it's a medium crunch. It's not hard. That is, if you know how to do quick math. And again, this is RPG Elite, and we only use the dice to inform us on how to do our medium and high level role playing. And there's a lot of things that you can do as standard. Some things are standard actions, what's called standard actions. So you can attack, you can dodge, you can escape, you can grab, and you can do one of these things. and that's it. Then if you can have a reaction if one of your powers like allows it, or if you're in a situation that you want to use it. So you have, like, if you want to escape from something, that's a reaction to being grabbed. So you can react in the same round that you're grabbed if you didn't go yet. Otherwise, you have to wait until the next round as a reaction to what it is that you're doing. You can do a fastball special. Everybody knows what a fastball special is, who knows anything about Marvel. Made famous by Peter Rasputin and Logan. You can help a teammate, you can interpose, you can put yourself in between somebody, you can charge, which is a weird one. That one is a reaction, like a reaction to charge. Yeah, they did make the game, I'm just looking at here, they did make the game, it's pretty easy, right? It's kind of like, it's not one of those games, again, it's not Champions, thank the Lord. Or something like, Absolute Power. I don't know if you guys saw that video that I did, but I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's for people who, now, once you get done making your character in Absolute Power, it's easy. But it's making your character in Absolute Power that is like, whoo. Yeah, that's for our hardcore superhero cats. You can move and just kind of, and I'm going through this rather quickly, but you can move, you can have a move action in every single round. And you can move again. So you have like your initial move action, which is something that's just a part of what you can do in a round. Then if you want to move again, then you can move as your actual standard action. But you can move all over the place. And I kind of like that. I like the fact that you can move all over the place and you don't have to be concerned over whether or not, that's your action for it. That's pretty cool. I already showed you how to deal damage and different weapons, and they have different multipliers and things like that. Just like I said, the Billy Club is an iconic weapon. Captain America's shield. Good googly moogly. That's all I got to say. Gosh. Yikes. Oddly enough, he doesn't have multiple attacks. Now that one I don't understand. That's a little weird. If you read the comics, Captain America can take on like 6 dudes. Just like actually Daredevil can. And Daredevil can actually make multiple attacks in the game. They just didn't give it to Cap. It's a little weird. I don't know why. Now, this 5th chapter is on creating characters. We ain't going to do that today because that takes a little while. But basically, what you do is, depending on what rank that you're going to start at, you get a certain amount of ability points. Like if you're starting off at rank 1, you only get 5 ability points. You got 6 abilities, so something is going to be at 0. And you can have things that start off in a negative in terms of your abilities. I think it's -3 is the lowest that you can go, right? And you can go all the way up to 9. But you can't do that. I think you cap out depending on the rank that you're at. So if you're at 6, you cap out at 9 in terms of your ability. If you're at rank 1, you cap out at 4. So your rank is going to determine what your highest ability is going to be able to start at. You do your backstory, you do your origin. Those are going to give you abilities. And also you do your powers. Now the powers, it has a power tree. Let me open this up for you guys. So there are power trees and they're prereqs that you need in order to get certain powers. So this is a power tree. And let me see if I can, I'm going to go back to my other one here. See if I can get it closer. Yeah, it's a little closer, huh? Okay. So here you have these trees. And like for something like elemental control, the first thing you're going to need is an elemental burst before you can get pretty much any of the other powers that's in this tree here. And it tells you what you need as the prerequisite power and if you need a certain rank, because a lot of these have a minimum rank that you have to be before you can get it. So it's the prereq power and rank. So it takes a little while, and this is where it gets a little limiting when it comes to creating your character. Right here. Like I said, I've tried this twice to make two characters that I've had like for years. And one I've had like for decades. And I couldn't quite make him how I wanted to. I had to finagle and kind of switch things around a little bit, especially at rank 1. It is what it is. You can start off at rank 2. You don't have to start off at rank 1. You can start off at whatever rank you want. Like if you cap off at rank 4, but you're like, let's start off at rank 2. Let's say we've got a little bit of experience under our belt already. You could do that too. Or rank 3 if you want to. That's up to you. Whatever you want to do. So that kind of flexibility helps. It's just that at rank 1, if you really want to start off green and kind of do the hero's journey type of thing, you can do that, but to make your character as you would like, that's a little limiting. But it's not bad. It's not bad to where it's not going to be fun. It's still going to be fun. You just have to use that imagination. Yeah, character creation, it's pretty fast. Like if you're doing rank 1, oh shoot. I mean, it shouldn't take you all that long to make a character. 15 minutes? Because you're going to be limited. There's things that you're only going to be able to choose a certain amount of abilities, and you get, like for every rank, you got double in the amount of powers that you can get. So at rank 1, you get 4. At rank 2, you can get 8. At rank 3, you can get, I think 24. That might not be right. Let me go back to, it's something similar to that. What is it here? Those are ability scores. But they have that depending on what you start off at, you are going to have so many powers. And, here it is. So at rank 1 it's 4, at rank 2 it's 8, at rank 3 it's 12. So depending on what you start off at, if you start off as a rookie, number 1, it's going to be a quick character creation. But if you start off at 2, that one's going to take a little bit longer because it's going to open up a lot of things because you'll probably have the prereq power to get the other powers that you need. And you'll have the rank too, probably, because a lot of those start off at rank 2 that you need them. Like I couldn't make my character as I wanted to. One of the powers was at rank 2. Not bad. I could have just started off at rank 2 if I wanted that too. You know, just skip over that and be like, let's start off at rank 2. Now, they have a good complement of powers here. Here's the thing with the powers. You have to, again, use your imagination to make the power your own instead of it being a cookie cutter of everybody having the same thing who have the same power, right? So you have to use your imagination on this. Otherwise, let's say right here, it says sense supernatural, right? Okay, you're going to need to add your own flavor into how that is. I mean, maybe one character wants to actually literally smell the supernatural in the room, while another character has an intuitive sense of there's supernatural activity. So you'll have to, again, use that imagination, use that creativity in order to make it your own. The power your own and not be, again, a cookie cutter of what somebody else probably has. And we're going to get into another, let me go over here. I got to go over here and get on there we go. Let's move this back since I've been on this for a while here. We're going to get into another supplement here in a second. But in the player's book, if I'm looking at it, almost half of it is just characters. No lie. Let me show you. It's color coded, and I don't know if you could see this, so I'll try to show this to you best I can. It's color coded, and this part right here, this red, all this, those are just characters. This here, that's the game. So basically half the book, or I don't know, a little bit over half of the book, is just characters. That's good if you are, you know, some people might want to start off playing characters in the Marvel Universe. If you are not used to superhero tabletop RPGs, I suggest you do that first. Especially if you're not used to tabletop RPGs, then I really suggest you do that first. Pick characters here, and I've got something for you in terms of adventure. I got something for you that they have that you can run. It's a really small adventure. But let's take a look at a couple of these here. So you got, there's Phil Coulson right there, Agent Phil Coulson, S.H.I.E.L.D. I have no idea who that is. So that must be new. Listen, I collect comics, but I only collect comics up till like 2005, somewhere in there. Maybe a couple of years later, maybe I stopped collecting after that time because I wanted to get more of the Bronze Age material, and the direction that the comics were going at that time, really, I wasn't really digging it. So that's kind of where I kind of keep the campaigns that I run in Marvel too. I keep it around that era. There's Ant-Man, you got Baron Mordo there. They got Silver. Oh, who is this guy? If you guys know this, his name is Blue Marvel. Dude, he is rank 6. Who is this guy? Now, he obviously has come after the time that I stopped collecting comics. But gosh, wow. This dude is Scooter's killer. I don't know who he is. He can do like everything. It seems like he is just like, look at this dude. He has a 9 melee. 9. That's crazy. Whew, man. I don't know of anybody else who has a 9 melee. Like 9 is the cap. It's ridiculous. Wow. Wow. Even Cap, he only has a 6 melee, crying out loud. Captain Marvel has 7. Colossus has a 7. Please. Colossus is not a better fighter than Captain America. He might be stronger. He's not a better fighter. Please, dude. See, stuff like that. It's just kind of like I see that stuff and I'm just like, man, come on, son. Something's not right here. Something's not right. You got Daredevil there. You got some Deadpool there. Got Dr. Doom. Ego is high. Go figure, right? Doctor Strange right here. And of course he has an ego of 9. Which is, again, that's the cap. That's the absolute cap, highest you can go. And of course, he's at 6. It is Doctor Strange. So, Hulk. Now, I was surprised at Hulk. There's Dormammu, by the way. Not surprised, right? Nobody's surprised by that. Okay. Let's look at Hulk here. There's Groot. There's Hela. No surprise there, right? Okay. Keep moving. There's Hulk. Now, I actually was a little surprised. No lie. Now, his resilience is at 9, and so is his melee. Yeah, I would say yeah. Yeah, okay, I agree with that. Look at his damage multiplier, y'all. It's 10. Oh my gosh. Oh, shoot. He has a damage multiplier of 10. God forbid if he gets a fantastic success. Oh my gosh. You just threw. Like, it's just over. It's over. It is over. Okay. You can still do theater of the mind, role playing, and combat. It's not necessary at all to use it as a tabletop war game. You can do that. If you can keep everything in your mind, you can do that. Here's the problem that I have with doing theater of the mind and combat. Everybody's got something different in their head as far as where everybody is. And It's just extra stuff that you have to keep into your mind, especially as a player and or a GM, where that could be freed up to do, here we go now, medium and high level role playing. You put a map down, place people in the positions where they're at, and then just focus on the medium and high level role playing, right? You move stuff around a little bit. You have the positions there. You don't have to clutter up your mind with that. And you can focus on, I'm going to say it one more time, medium and high level role playing. So you don't, but if you're doing something like this little small thing that I did over here with Daredevil and 2 Hydra agents, okay, that's simple. You can really do that. Theater of the mind. That's simple. If you've got the Avengers going against the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants or something crazy like that, it's time to pull out a map. It's time to pull out a map, put some stuff on there, and it doesn't need to be as fancy as I've had it here, because mine actually ain't that fancy as much as it could be. They actually have miniatures for the Multiverse Tabletop RPG that you can go and buy. On Amazon, you can go and grab those. So they're there. I wouldn't get, I like my paper, I like the paper ones and putting them together or whatever. I don't know what, I don't need it to be that fancy, but I just need it to be immersive enough to where everybody has their own particular character and all the rest of that stuff. But if you have if a huge battle is going on, theater of the mind is horrible. People get confused. Was he over here? Was she over there? This, that, and the third. Yeah, why don't you just pull out a map, put people where they need to go. They don't need to be miniatures if you don't want that. They could be pennies or dimes or whatever. Just put them someplace where everybody can see where everybody's at and then go, right? So you're not cluttering up your mind with all of that stuff and positioning and stuff like that. You want to know something? I was going to use my hero clicks for that example, but I wanted to use Cap, and I couldn't use Cap in Demiplane because my code wouldn't work, and Cap is locked. They only give you so many characters for free, and then the rest are locked. It's crazy. He gave me the whole bundle, though, and the whole bundle over there with a 15% discount is $152. Yikes. Take that for what it will, y'all. Take that for what it is. We got Iceman here. He's level 4. Invisible Woman's level 4. Icarus is level 5. I like the Eternals, by the way. Not the movie, the comic book. I didn't even bother with the movie. Yeah, that's probably right. That's probably right. Juggernaut's a 4. Katie Pride. Anybody else want something else here? Malekith is a 4. Magnetron, I have no idea who that is. Oh, Mandarin looks different. Looks kind of cool, actually. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just depends, right? Like, quite frankly, most of the time, you're playing tabletop RPGs with theater of the mind, right? If you're here playing Marvel, and you guys aren't really doing much of anything, or you guys are just traveling someplace, and all that stuff can be done here in the mind. But when it comes to combat, okay, I've just seen this done, and it's just like questions continue to be asked over and over and over again because everybody's got a different idea of what's going on during the battle. What a map does, it keeps everything consistent. Everybody's seeing the same thing. Everybody knows everything that's on the battle, and again, doesn't clutter up your mind to try to keep track of all of that as a GM or as a player. So yeah, so it has its place. Theater of the mind has its place, but battles, especially huge ones, that's not it. Not at all. That's in my opinion. Let me see what we got here. Mr. Fantastic has a 7 on logic. Only a 7. Really? I mean, 7 is high. But I thought it would be like an 8 or something like that. Huh. MODOK is as smart as Mr. Fantastic? Really? That's sus. That right there is sus. I don't agree with that. Anyway, Moon Girl, I don't know who she is. Got Mystique here, Nick Fury, Nebula, Night Nurse. Never heard of her. Photon, Okoye, Professor X. Yeah, you see that right there? Nobody's surprised by that, right? Okay. And nobody's surprised that his vigilance, his ego, and his logic are all 9s. Yikes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yikes. Whew. That is crazy. Yeah, on some of this stuff, it's just kind of like, really? Now, you could go ahead and do that yourself. Now, if you bring out a character and you're like, nah, I think they should have this and this, just add it. That's what I would do. Like if I have the game here and I pull out somebody and I'm going to probably give or face off with the PCs, and I see something that's wrong, I'll just change it. I'll add something and change it and whatever to what I think it should be. And you could just move on from there. You got Quicksilver here. You got Reptile. Never heard of him. Ronan the Accuser. Only a rank 4. Okay, that's probably right. That actually is right, actually. Scarlet Witch is 5. Now, you would think that, with the way they made her, she would be a 6. Huh. 4 for Shang-Chi, 4 for Shuri, some S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, some Skrulls, Silk, don't know who she is. Came after my time. Peter Parker, hey, I dig this. The original is 4, which is like legendary, and then Miles Morales is 3. Thank you for doing that. Let me see. Storm is a 4. Star-Lord is a 5. And that's pretty right on the money, if you know who Star-Lord is. Submariner is a 4. Really? I would have thought that he would have been a 5. I really would. And nobody's surprised at this, right? For Thanos? Okay. Nobody's surprised at that one. Thing is a 5. Thing is a 5. Wait a minute. Thor is only a 5? Really? What? They must have nerfed the mess out of Thor. Yeah, that's what I was saying. How's Submariner less than Star-Lord? Now, understand, Star-Lord his dad is Ego, who's he's not a Celestial, but one of the Grandmaster and the Obliterator and all those guys he's one of those. So that's why, and I don't know if in the comics he has exhibited more powers as a result of his father being it's not a Celestial. I am going blank right now. But something like a Celestial, living forever, super powerful. Ego is his dad. So that's probably why they did that. I still don't see it. I would think that it still would be equal. Actually, I think that Submariner would be a 5. That's just me, though. And again, you could always change the stuff. Like if you're playing this, you could always change it. They did pretty decent for most of them. So I'll give them that. For most of them, they did pretty decent. Some of these, you're going to have to do some home brewing. And we're getting to the end here. Wolverine, Logan. No Old Man Logan. I think that's in what we're getting ready to go through here in a second. I think it's in that book. Wong is in here. Wong is a 4? What? Wait a minute. Wong? What did I miss? They must have made him into something. Because, again, I'm thinking old school, so they must have made him into something. It has MCU things in it. But since it's a multiverse game, you can start off wherever you want. You can do whatever universe that you want. And so, like myself, I would start off probably in the past, probably mid to late 90s is where I would have mine. And you could just say, that's a multiverse. That's another universe. The past is kind of another universe that you can go back to. If you want to just change it up entirely, shoot, you can have all of the superheroes not in New York. You can have them in Columbus, if that's where you live, or whatever other major city that you wanted it to be in. Or you could split it up however you want it. You could say that's another universe. But yeah, they do have some of the MCU stuff in here, and they put them in the comics later on. But it's supposed to be, MCU is technically another universe, another multiverse. So that's why they put some of that stuff in here. Now, speaking of the multiverse, in chapter 9 here, it gives you a brief history. It gives you a history of Earth 616. So that pretty much is where everything pretty much starts, is Earth 616. And then it starts going off in all these other different Earths. And you have New York City. It starts telling you about the different places and different landmarks and different major things. Savage Land, Madripoor, Latveria. Don't go there alone. With ninja training. Okay, with ninja training, shield agent. Maybe we might do that I might do that over on an Element server or something like that. Now, on this page, this is where it gets into the other dimension and basically the other universes. Like they had a 2099 universe this is ages ago, like in the early 90s, they had a whole line of comics that was 2099. Okay, well, they brought that back as another multiverse. So if you like those comics and you want to set it there, you will like the Spider-Man there, whose name is Miguel something, then you can play in that universe. The Days of Future Past with the X-Men. That's actually another multiverse that you can go to. They have a couple other ones that I'm not really familiar with. The Larval universe, the Marvel Noir universe. Didn't they have one that everybody was like dead, or a zombie universe or something stupid like that? Oh, here it is, Marvel Zombie Universe. There you go. You got the MC2 universe, the Real World, if you actually want to set them in this world, the Spider-Gwen universe, the What If universe. Here it is, y'all. So Rat, there it is, right there. So it's all these different multiverses that's pretty much been around like for a long time, except some of these newer ones that they've discovered. But you got other dimensions here too, the ones that I was talking about, the Negative Zone, like Olympus, Otherworld, Asgard, all these different places. And there's really a lot more than this. They really did a truncated list here, Kunlun, all the rest of those things. And they have it to where there's a way to move between universes. I remember back in the day, they had this module. I have it over here, but I'm just not going to go and get it right now. But it's called Realms of Magic. And basically in Realms of Magic, oh, I still have it here. Oh, that's not that bad over here. In Realms of Magic was supposed to be all the different universes and all the different dimensions and all this stuff, right? And this is in the classic version. And they had a ton of different dimensions, crazy amount of different dimensions. Age of Apocalypse, yeah, that's another one. Did you like the 20? I don't think I read enough of the 2099 series to, I think the only one I read of the 2099 series was The Punisher. And it was the only one that I read. And I didn't read that much of it. Man, I don't even remember it. I might have a couple comics over there that's 2099, maybe. I'm not sure. There was another universe. I don't know if you guys remember this universe, but there was a universe back in the Disney. It was called the New Universe. And it had characters like, what was his name? Star something. They had him, they had Justice, they had Strike Force Mortuary, Starbrand, that's right, Starbrand. That's another universe. Again, they didn't put it in here, but if you like that universe, because I was a fan of Justice from that universe, and then it got weird. It was good at first, and then it got really weird or whatever. But that's another universe that if you wanted to play with the Marvel Multiverse, you could. Now, the end of this is just the narrator. It gives you tips on stuff like that. If you've been narrating or GMing, you know, the different names that they come up with GMs, whether it be narrator or lore master or storyteller or referee or, you know, whatever. I always call it GM as the de facto. They just give you some tips here, especially if you're just starting off. And I suggest that you just read through it. I suggest you read through it even if you're a vet GM, but you haven't run superhero tabletop RPGs. I have seen this more than once being on YouTube, and somebody have asked or has said that, you know, they have a difficult time or don't know how to roll, you know, don't know how to quite run a superhero tabletop RPG. I don't understand that because it's no different than running anything else. You can make it gritty. You can make it dramatic. You can make it a mystery. You can make it just about anything you want it to, because that's really what superheroes is. Superheroes is kind of like a mishmash of a whole lot of things, a whole lot of genres, to be quite honest. But with that, you know, that heroic feel for the individuals with all these special powers and stuff, and this high character and all the rest of the stuff. But you really can have it however, I mean, if you want to do a Daredevil campaign, kind of, you know, Hell's Kitchen, dark, gritty, you know, dark alleys and, you know, street criminals and stuff like that, you can do that. And it could be, you know, more of a serious thing, you know, kind of like the series and on the Netflix series, which, by the way, my wife really don't get into a lot of this, you know, superhero stuff. But she loved her some Daredevil on Netflix. She loved that show. Something for everyone. So it's the same thing here. Make whatever you want. I'm just looking at you guys' chat here. Another idea, if it's stuck in my head, is what if Doc Ock transferred his consciousness and memory into the body of Omega Red? Okay, because both of them have tentacles. Okay, I get it. And it became the Omega Octopus. 6 tentacles. Oh, that would just be... Well, he would only still have 2 because Omega Red only has 2. If he transferred his consciousness into his body. So he still would only have 2. Unless, of course, he would graft the 4 other ones onto himself. Then you'd have to, you know, put that story together. Doc Ock would have the expertise to recreate the carbonadium synthesizer. Yeah, true. Doc is smart, really smart. I'm just going back here on some of your chats here, so let me go ahead and see this. Another idea that 2 a.m. The very first thing I ever ran was Marvel Saga System, which I think is ghastly. Oh my gosh. I think the Marvel Saga System is so ghastly. What was that? Marvel Saga came out in 98, right? It was the card one, the card deck one. Oh gosh. Listen, every iteration of Marvel that has come out, I have looked at in depth since Classic. So I didn't understand the Saga system and why they changed it so much. If Marvel from the Classic system was so popular, and it was, I think it won some awards and stuff like that, then why would you like totally throw that away? What is up with that? I didn't understand that at all. And that system was a hot mess. And they came out with a diceless system after that. I think it was 2003 or something like that. And that one just wasn't balanced well at all. It came and went. And then they came out in 2012 with the Margaret Weiss version, which used the Cortex system. That wasn't too bad. It wasn't too great, but it wasn't too bad. But to my understanding, they had some licensing issues, and so that came and went like in a year. Like it was here and gone, here today, pretty much, and gone tomorrow. And so it's from that version to now. So we've got over a decade before they actually came out with, and actually this has been out for 2 years, so it's been like a decade before they came out with another iteration. So if I had to put them all in order in terms of which one is the best, Classic is the best, Phase Rip system, #1. Actually, I put this one at #2. I would put this new one at #2. Didn't do a bad job. They did not do a bad job. So this one here is pretty good. I am going to be playing this. I don't know when, because I'm looking at boxes piled up right here next to my desk. So who knows? But I would put this at #2. I'd put Margaret Weiss's at #3. And believe it or not, I put the diceless one at #4 and Saga at last. It just was not good. It really wasn't. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. Here it was, I was all excited and thinking that we were going to have some like an updated version of the old TSR one, and it just like disappeared. Didn't understand it at all. It's especially as popular as it was as a superhero game. All right, so this is, so we've, let me switch this over so you guys can see this, and let's get pretty. So here it is, folks. It is 200, I think it's 300 and it's got those trees here in the back for you, and some, it's very weird to me. Like, you put the character sheet in the back of the book. It's not like you're going to tear those out. Why are you doing that? It's just filler at that point. This is like 317 pages. And like I said, this is out of all of them, and again, I've gone through every one of them in depth. This is the second best version that they've ever come out with. And even the classic version has issues, multiple. But as far as system goes, core mechanic, this one right here, this one's pretty good. All right. Now, if you get this and you're liking what you see, then you can move on up and expand on it with the X-Men expansion. This is pretty, now, I actually like this better. I like the core book. I'll just keep it 100. I like this, but this is pretty good. Let me switch this over to the, oops, that's the wrong one. Oops, that's the wrong one too. I'm going to the wrong places. Okay. So here is everything if you want to run an X-Men mutant type campaign. They did a good job on this. I'm going to give them a thumbs up on this one. They did a good job. No lie. They have all the history. So if you really, you know, because the X-Men has always been kind of like the most popular group in Marvel or whatever. By the way, I was collecting Avengers when everybody else was collecting X-Men. Like X-Men was super popular, had Jim Lee and all the rest of that stuff. Who was I collecting? Yeah, it was me. Roger Stern was writing it. You had Paul Ryan was drawing it, and I was getting it every single week. I have hundreds of Avengers comics, hundreds of them. And I want to get a full collection. I know that's going to be a little tough, but I think the earliest Avengers that I have is 87. And it's in really good condition. I don't even think I've ever read it. I just kept it in the bag. And I do want to get the others before that, because I do like to read my comics, but then I'll put them away and they'll just stay there forever. And I am not a collector in the sense of I collect for money. I am a collector in the sense that I read and then I put them away and let them marinate for a good while, like wine. But this here is a good one. So you have the different maps in here. And so this is what I suggest that you do if you have these. And this is what I'm probably going to do. So if you get something like this, you can just get this and like either take a picture of it, take a photo of it, and then you can import this into something like Dungeon Alchemist or Chronos Builder or any other kind of map. And then map making software. And then you can kind of either trace it if it has overlay capability, or you can't do this for Chronos Builder, but you can do it for Dungeon Alchemist because it has overlay capability. And you could do this for several of the maps. So what it first comes out with? All the groups, right? So let's go through them. Obviously, we're starting with the X-Men. That's the #1 group, right? It's got a map of the Blackbird here, which is pretty dope. This is a nice map here. Next, and let's get pretty. And it gives you everybody who's been in different versions, because you know 10,000, there's been 10,000 different X-Men teams. So you have the first X-Men team, of course, which was Angel, Beast, Iceman, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Jean, who actually ended up being the next group that we're getting ready to get into. And that would be, hold on. Who can guess what the next group is going to be? So if you know anything about the comics, the original X-Men formed another mutant group later on in comicdom. It was in the 80s. And the name of it was, Rat is the first one to get it, X Factor. I got a lot of X Factor. Now, obviously, these aren't the originals. The originals started it. Actually, did you know that it was an X Factor where a major villain made his first appearance? Who's that major villain? Anybody know? It was Walter Simonson who were doing that, and it was around issue 4 or 3. Yes, Apocalypse. 4 or 3, somewhere in there. And when he first came onto the scene, I adored him. I was like, oh, I am digging this villain. This villain is dope. And he ends up being one of the major villains in the Marvel Universe. Yeah, he's dope. Really dope. So they have a whole section on the different teams of X Factor. They have the Exterminators here too. I have some of their novels, which aren't that good, but I read them anyway. So they have the Exterminators here. You have the government team for X Factor. You have when they turned into X Factor Investigations, which is where they were right here. And they have a map for each one of these, some map, some way. Here's Mutant Town. It's a weird map right here. It's kind of weird. My boy. My boy right there, man. That is some dope art, and he is just a great villain. Gosh, I love that villain. Him and Doom, I love him. Next was X-Force. Quiz. Does anybody know who actually is the creator of X-Force? I'll give you a little bit of time because, again, I know there's a delay on the chat as we go through this. But here we go. We got Boom Boom, we got Cable, we got Cannonball, we got Domino, we got Pharaoh, Shatterstar, and we have Warpath. Rob Liefeld is right. And then it started going into all the other different iterations. You had Domino's X-Force. I really love Domino, by the way. Black Ops X-Force, Uncanny X-Force. They were good. Actually, they were really good. This Deadpool showed up. Deadpool showed up actually in the Black Ops X-Force. I think that was the first time. Actually, that's where Deadpool showed up. That's where he was created. And X-Force. Oh man, that is a nice looking, look at that, man. Man, Salvador's stuff is looking dope. And then you have another map here of the Cavern X. Then you have the mutant classes. Now, see if anybody, oh, you already said them. Yeah, the New Mutants. Right here, baby. Cannonball, Sunspot, Wolfsbane. Is this Magic? No, Magic's not here. Where is she? She's not up here. Because Magic was one of them. That's Peter's sister. What's her name again? Hold up. What's her name? Mirage. Yeah, that's her name. Mirage. This was the original team. Here. Then you had Generation X here. Hey, I'm Generation X. What's up? The Omega Gang. The original Hellions. There's the Hellions here. These are the different kind of young classes of mutants. Had the new X-Men, New Mutants again, just a different team. And I believe Excalibur is going to be in here somewhere. Man, they had a lot of different classes. Good grief. Now, these are two of the, this is Xavier's school. Good maps if you want to recreate them. But if you're going to be doing an X-Men campaign, then do the maps right because you're probably going to be in there for a good long minute. So just take the time with that. Karma. Yeah, you're right. That's right. It was Karma. Mirage was the other one with short hair. Is that Sauron? Okay. Woo! Woo! I remember reading this. Oh my gosh. The Morlock Massacre. That was rough. Something major happened to a character from the X-Men in this. Does anybody remember what happened? What character it happened to? Yep. Angel lost his wings. Okay, let me give you another one. Who is the one that made him lose his wings? See if you got that one. I'm going to wait to turn. Harpoon. Oh, you good, bro. Oh, you good. You cheating over there? You spitting this? Okay, that was from Weird Science out of it. Yeah, the Marauders, man. That was such a good storyline. I felt so bad for Angel until he became Archangel. That's what I'm talking about, man. It was something else, man. Archangel is dopeness. Like the improvement was many orders of magnitude better than Angel. So he had to go through some tough pain to get to that part. And messing with his mind and all the rest of that stuff. Okay, as you can see, I followed that storyline, and I think I still have it in my comic book collection. Now, this here is, what is this over here? Is this the Morlock tunnels? Really? Yes, it is. Okay, this is the Morlock tunnels here. All right. And then you have the Marauder. Now this here, I don't know if you knew, but this is their HQ. Their HQ is a boat, like a huge one. And they kind of go everywhere, but this is their HQ. Alpha Flight. Okay, let me see if you guys know a little something about this. What country are they from, number one? That's a lob over home plate, but I'm just want to see who knows. Canada. That's right. They are from Canada. Okay. Now, let me see. There's someone missing in this picture. And let's see if you know this now, because this is different. He has a sister that was with him as well. What's his name? Nope, not Marina. Department Agent Wolverine, yeah, he started this, yeah, but I'm talking about, not him, but it's not him that I'm talking about. Because, again, he has a sister. Somebody got it. His name is North Star. He's not in this picture. But, yeah, North Star, he had a sister that was a part of it as well. Is that her? The new her? Probably. It looks like her. Okay. You know they're always doing crazy stuff like that. Ah, shoot. Oh, there's the originals right there. That's dopeness. Is that Snowbird? I guess so. Now, I don't know a whole lot about these cats, even though I do know their comics. I don't know if I have any of their comics. The Exiles, right? The Exiles were a group of mutants that were taken from different dimensions to form a team. So different time or different dimensions and stuff, and they have a dimension where they had their headquarters and all the rest of that stuff. And so that's what it is, from different actual multiverse dimensions, right? So if you really want to get into the multiverse part of things and you want to do it with mutants, then you might want to go steal some stuff from the Exiles, because that really is what they were about. And this is what's called the Panopticon, their headquarters. And then you just have other worlds, you know, the Age of Apocalypse, Mutant X Earth 1298, another multiverse place, Age of X Earth 11326, another one, guess what? House of M, we forgot about that, right? Another one, Ultimate X-Men Earth, X-Men Noir. Oh gosh, this is where we start getting into it. And Mojo, of course. Mojo. Yes, Sabretooth was on that team. Sabretooth, who did he kill? He killed one of the Morlocks, and I forgot who it was in the Morlock Massacre. Just destroyed him, man. That was such a. If you've never read the Morlock Massacre storyline, go grab that. That was a good one. Here's another universe, Futures Past, and we talked about that earlier. This art is off of the chain, though. There's Old Man Logan. Ooh, sinister. Now, that's all of the, so you can mash all this stuff together. And they have some new rules in this X-Men expansion. So, and that's how they're doing it. They're doing that when they're doing it in the Spider-Verse. I'm pretty sure there's going to be new rules in that. And the new other one that I'm getting ready to show you here in a second, there are probably going to be some new rules in that. The new rules in here are mostly for a mutant campaign, though. But if you wanted to take some of these out of here, just kind of run a normal campaign in kind of like regular New York, you could do that. So you got new team maneuvers. The mutant reputation comes into play because, you know, they don't have a good one. Schools, you have different, you have the actual stats for the Blackbird, which is dope. You have the Marauder boat, remember, that we just talked about there. And the Danger Room. Even if you just get it for this and then, you know, maybe you're running the Avengers and they need a Danger Room, this is dope. And how you can design one. You can design your own Danger Room here. It's pretty dope. Tell me that's not cool. That's why I said this one was really good. Like this expansion is good. And I'm not really a X-Men, you know, I'm an Avengers guy. Always have been, always will be. But after looking at this and going through this, I was like, dang, they did good. This was pretty good. Oh, a Brood Thor. That's a new X-Men there. And you've got some new powers as well. And some of these powers are brand new. Other of these are just add-ons to the powers that are already in the core book. Pretty much. Yeah. KK, that's exactly right for about the Exiles. They're kind of like a mutant Expendables. That's pretty much right on the money there. Suicide Squad type thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hey, I didn't know anything about that. Like again, I haven't collected in a while, and there's still a lot, even from the time periods close to when I stopped collecting that. Oh, I got a ton to collect. I've been so busy though that I don't even have time to read I got hundreds upon hundreds of comics I still haven't read. You know how it goes. You buy books, you don't read them. And then, of course, you got characters, right? So you got all the characters that are not in the core book that are, all together now, mutants. So you have Apocalypse. Rank 6, baby. That's all you need to know. Times 10 multiplier, damage multiplier. Thank you very much. Oh, man. Yes, he is one of my favorite villains. I love him. You got Bishop in here. Black Priestess. Got Blob up in here. Got some Cable. Got the Brood. Brood's not really... Broods are aliens, but they're just a mutant villain. Just so you know, this woman is insane. She is a narcissistic, Machiavellian, psychopathic sociopath. Good grief. Gosh, she's horrible. Absolutely horrible. And it doesn't help that she's rank 6. Just like her brother. Gosh. Just wow. Huh. Got Cypher right here. Somebody said they wanted to be. I think it was you, Rat. Wasn't it you that said that you liked Cypher? Darwin, Dazzler, Domino, my girl. Dupe, y'all. Okay, check out Dupe. Y'all know Dupe, right? Check out, he's rank 6. He is rank 6. Do you believe that? That is crazy. Oh my gosh. Rank 6. A lot of these are kind of in the 5. Oh, do you guys know Exodus? Oh, I have this whole storyline, the crossover, everything. It crossed over from the X-Men to the Avengers. Dude, this storyline was dope. This was really, really good. Exodus is the bomb. Really, really good. Because he's kind of like one of those guys that doesn't think he's a bad guy. And he's not just doing things just because he's an evil guy. Like, he believes in the cause, right? If you ever can get that storyline, read that storyline, maybe I'll show you guys my comics sometime and, you know, kind of show you some of these limited series and stuff, because that one right there was dope. That was really good. Let me see. You got Gambit. You got Guardian. That's somebody new. I don't know that one. You got Hope Summers. You got Havoc. Hope Summers is a 6? Oh my gosh. What? Wow. I am behind. Yikes. Some of these I don't know, and I probably need to catch up on. I always thought Jubilee was cute. Just a kind of like a cute character. And actually, she acts kind of ditzy. She's not. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she's good at it. You got Karma right there, Kid Omega, Lockheed. I like Lockheed. He's cool. Lady Deathstrike. Whew. Oh. Gosh, she's got a +5 on her initiative. And an edge. Dang. Yeah, Long Shot. I'm not familiar. There's Magic. There she is. And she rules her own dimension, so that could be a multiverse thing too right there. Got Madeline Pryor. That's not surprising. That she is a 6 is nowhere near surprising. Got Magma. Master of the World is he's a mutant? They must have changed him into a mutant. Okay. They used to just be called the Master, and then they call him the Master of the World now. Mr. Sinister is a 5. That's appropriate. That's appropriate. Mojo is an idiot, but he's a 4. Moira McTaggart. Multiple Man. Nocturne. She's from someplace else. Nimrod. Rank 6, y'all. That's pretty on the money. That's pretty on the money, y'all. Oh, there's North Star. There he is. Old Man Logan. Earth 21, 923. Polaris is right there. You got Puck right there. You got Pyro. The Purifiers. You got Richter. You got Rogue. Sebastian Shaw. Sasquatch. Woo. Shadow King. Woo. Nasty. Nasty dude. Mr. Farouk. Nasty. Shatterstar there. Shaman. Siren. Silver Samurai. Snowbird. Sync. Not familiar. Sunfire. Toad. Yeah. Got Warpath. There you got Warlock. I like Warlock. You got Wild Child, and you got Wolfsbane. And then that's the end of it for this. So if you are really into the X-Men universe and all, this one right here, this is good. I'm impressed with this. And now I'm going to be interested in see what they do with the one that I'm going to talk about here in a second. Now, if you just want a starter, and let me see, where is it at here? Is it here? Yes. So if you're looking for a starter adventure, they do have a starter adventure called Deadpool Roleplays the Marvel Universe. So at the beginning of this, they have this in like a comic form, right? So you kind of read the comic, and if you want to, you can read it to everyone, or you can have everybody read it, pass it around the table and do that. And then it starts, right? And this is a short adventure, so this is maybe a couple of sessions. They have some brand new characters in here that are not actually Marvel characters. They just had it for this particular adventure. And so most of these guys are ranked 2 and 3. So they're not, you know, real high level. So you got, you know, Deadpool is 4, but he's not one of the characters you can be. He's actually the guy that gets you going. Then you have, well, obviously you can't be Dupe. You have Paladin, you have Hitmonkey. Who's another one? Because that was kind of a giveaway there. You have this one called Terror. And I guess he's the last one. Wasn't it? No, there was another one in here. Her name is... Yeah, 2 of them, yeah. So you got Ren Kimura and She-Hulk. So those are the ones that you can... this is kind of like a module. Kind of like a comic module. Part comic, part module. And it's an adventure. It's a good starter adventure. So if you don't feel like kind of making up anything real, you want something real quick just to get you going, you could probably do this in 1 or 2 sessions. And then people will kind of evaluate whether or not they want to continue to go with something else. You can go now. The X-Men, the X-Men did not have. I don't think they had an actual adventure in it. Let's go back in the back here, because again, most of this is characters. But no, they don't actually, and that's too bad, because that would have been the kind of icing on the cake for the X-Men one, would have been for them to add like an adventure for you to go on. But it's plenty of content in there for you to make one up, and it won't be hard because they did a good job on that. The last one here that I got for you guys for today is the Cataclysm of Kang campaign. So in this one, I can't open it up, you know, because then you give it away. So this is a string of adventures as a campaign where Kang is the man, and he really is. Even he's a major villain of Marvel. And do not be fooled by the MCU. Oh gosh, he's much better than that. He's like much more dangerous than that. Oh man, I've been messing up here. Let me go ahead and put this on for you. And yeah, Cataclysm of Kang. And you can make your own characters for this campaign. They do provide some characters that you can play if you just want to just get going. Now, I always have been one that likes to play my own character because just my imagination is always going. So I always have an idea. And if you want to, right? So if you want to start a hero's journey type deal, like I was talking about earlier, and then go up in your rank until you get to your rank cap, whatever you guys decide your rank cap is, this is the campaign to do it in. Because this, I think, goes up. It goes up pretty high, by the way. I think the last one is it's not rank 6, but it's up there. And I think if you want to do this, it probably would be good to go up to rank 4. Like, don't do anything less than rank 4. If you do rank 5, you'd be in good territory. So this is the Cataclysm of Kang, and I could just go boom, you know, just real quick so you guys don't, you know, nothing's given away type of stuff. But this is 200, I thought it was 300, 254 pages. So if you don't, oh, I'm a little blurry there. Come on, what's going on? Come on. Let's go back to the other one here. Let's go over here. So if you really don't feel like putting things together, like you don't have maybe the mental fortitude to go in that, then get this and then just tweak it, you know, for wherever your group is. If you have everybody that has original characters, just tweak it for them. That's it. And you won't have to be concerned about, oh, what I'm going to do for the next one. Yeah, it's all in here. You can tweak it. You can change the villains if you want to and add something else or whatever your heart's desire. So this is the, actually, let's go back to my presentation here. All right, we're still blurry. Why are we still blurry there? My overhead cam being silly. There we go. I had to move it around a little bit. So the Cataclysm of Kang campaign, let me move this back a little bit like that. There we go. And that, folks, is all I have, because this guy is not important enough to send like Spider-Verse and all the rest of that. Now, they do have another one that is coming out, though, but it's not coming out until September of this year. And they've already got it up on Amazon. And it's the Avengers expansion. Okay. I already talked to my contact. I said, okay, the Spider-Verse thing, I can, take or leave that. But the Avengers, I'm going to need that. I'm going to need that beforehand. I'm really going to need that so we can do a showcase. So what do you guys think of this? Like, is this a game that you think that, hey, maybe it might be something that I might want to play? It's easy. The system is really easy. If you can do quick math in your head, it's easy. First or second edition. Recommend this over the Sentinel Comics TTRPG. It depends on your flavor. If you like the Marvel universe, right? With Sentinel Comics too, so I should probably say that. But I think it depends on your flavor. If hard pressed, like I'm hard pressed, and to be like, hey, which one would you recommend? And it's between the two, because obviously I would recommend the classic version. But because it probably is just because I'm a Marvel fan, so I probably would do Marvel. But I love me some Sentinel Comics. Do not get me wrong. I do love Sentinel Comics. It is a totally different system, completely. It's on something else. You guys need to let me know. Let me know if you guys want me to do that. You want me to do one for Sentinel Comics, because I got a whole lot of stuff for that one that for the RPG, for the actual board game, for the GM Masters Kit, all this stuff some of the stuff I haven't even done on the channel at all. So for me, it's whatever floats my boat that day. Some days I might get into, doing a little bit of Marvel. Other days I might want to go, if you want to go totally into, like, say, custom stuff, like you want to do more custom stuff, I think Sentinel Comics is more geared towards that, but their system is quite different, right? So if you've seen some of my videos on Sentinel Comics, their system's quite different. It's not as simplified as this, nowhere near. This one is a very simple system. It also depends on the people that you're playing with too. So if you want something simple for them, or you're trying to introduce somebody to a new tabletop RPG that's a superhero tabletop RPG, between Sentinel Comics and this, I go with Marvel, because it's simpler. Oh, some of the characters definitely need adjustment. I agree. Yeah, they definitely need some adjustment. Actually, let's go back to that, because actually you have strength. Hold up a second, or it might not be. It actually is the acronym for Marvel. So was it melee, agility, resilience, vigilance? You're right, it is. Yeah, it is. Melee is both fighting and strength. So yeah, it's a combination of the two. So maybe keeping that in mind. Helps. I just want a superhero system that is more or less balanced. and less prone to min-maxing, then this is probably the one. Now, again, when you play a superhero tabletop RPG, it really, what I always tell people is that if there's a issue with, you know, running a tabletop a superhero tabletop RPG and you're having some difficulty with it, or maybe you're not familiar with the genre, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is go read the comics. Forget the movies. Okay? Go read the comics. Read a run of comics to get the feel of it. And I would suggest from the time period of maybe the late 80s to the late 90s. That's where I would say pick one. Pick the original Infinity Gauntlet. Go read that. Go read The Watchmen. Go read The Dark Knight. Go read Born Again, which they just came out with. Okay, go read those. Read the comics of those. It's a totally different feel. A completely different feel. Except with Daredevil, they might have done a good job on that. They've done a bad job on everything else, but they actually may have done a good job on it. It looks pretty good. I don't know. I don't have Disney Plus, but it looks good. But if you want to run a superhero tabletop RPG, I really highly suggest just read comics. Go and read comics just to get a feel for the genre. And read comics for the kind of you know, the kind of superhero campaign or one shot or whatever you want to do that you want to do. If you like Silver Age stuff from way back in the day and you like it being corny and all the rest of that stuff, okay. But if you want a more adult superhero campaign, then that era that I told you about, which is the era I grew up on, Killing Joke, that kind of stuff, go read those. I really highly recommend it. As a matter of fact, there's another one called Hush. It's another run for Batman. I know that's DC, but this just gives you a feel for comics and what you can do within the genre. See you, KK. And thank you, guys. I think I did just about everything that I'm supposed to do. I think I did everything I was supposed to do here. Except show everybody, is it this one here that I was supposed to show everybody? You can't buy it yet. You can buy the Avengers expansion on pre-order. Or you can wait for me to get it and then see if that's something that you like. But I think that's it, folks. Unless you guys got something, I went a little bit longer. I'd only planned to go for an hour. But you guys, thanks for showing up. And I learned a little something about my setup here. It's not too bad, is it? It's not too bad. I think I like this. The only problem that I have is that Amazon forces you to do it on their app because they don't have it any other way. Why? I don't know. Who knows why they do this kind of stuff? It just doesn't make any sense to me, but well, it is what it is. It's 4 o'clock. 2 hours on the nose, folks. So I'm going to get out of here. And so until the next time, which should be Tuesday, God willing, it's me, your boy, serving, saying peace. 5,000 leads. Y'all know what's up. Your brother is outie. Have a good one.